Good morning, everyone. Our topic for today is about pop art. So, before we go to the introduction, let's first determine the objectives of our topic. The first objective is to define pop art, then to determine the characteristics of pop art, to determine the most distinguished artists during pop art period, and to determine the most distinguished artworks during pop art period. The topics are definition of pop art, characteristics of pop art, distinguished artists, and artworks in pop art period. So, introduction. Pop art. So, what is pop art? So, it is short for popular art. It showcases common household objects and consumer products like Coca-Cola and Campbell Soup cans. So, it's like art in consumer products like some mga tinapa, they're like product packaging, as well as widely diverse forms of media such as comics, newspapers, and magazine. No, it is pop art is a widely used, commonly used form of art. So it is ato siya sa diverse pod nga forms of media na nasa comics, newspapers, and also the magazine. And recognized to the masses, pop artworks done by artists were often made using mechanical or commercial techniques such as silk screening. So silk screening is a form of a printing technique. An artistic movement that began in 1950s and thrived in 1960s in America and Britain. So it is more popular in America and Britain in 1960s, getting their inspiration from sources in popular and commercial culture. It started as an uprising against the leading approaches to art and culture and traditional views of what art should be. So young artists turned instead to sources such as Hollywood movie, advertising, product packaging, pop music, and comic books for their imagery. Instead of going to museums and learn traditional art, they turn sources instead to Hollywood movies such as Hollywood movies, advertising, product packaging, pop music, and comics book for their imagery. So that's why pop art was born. So here are the characteristics of popular culture. You can remember them by remembering the pneumatics MOF-BB, which stands for M, mass production aesthetics, mimics industrial production methods like screen printing to emphasize repetition and accessibility. U, for use of everyday object, features mundane items such as soup cans, soda bottles, or household goods or essential subjects. So you can find them everywhere. When you bought sardines, you can see their product packaging, and that is one example of pop art. F, for flat imagery, employs simple graphic and flat designs reminiscent of commercial printing techniques. Another F is focus on celebrity and icons, highlights well-known figures and brand imagery as symbols of cultural significance. One example is Marilyn Monroe. When you search pop art or popular art in Google, you can directly see Marilyn Monroe as its like cover for popular art. When you go to the image, you can see Marilyn Monroe's face in different colors. Next is bright and bold colors, often use vibrant, eye-catching colors to make a strong visual impact. Next is inspired by popular culture, draws from advertising, comic books, movies, television, and consumer products. Blurring of high and low art, challenges the traditional distinction between fine arts and commercial arts. So it's traditional distinction between fine art and commercial art. So it's like the integration. Of fine art and commercial art. Last one is irony and satire. Often critiques or celebrates mass consumerism of popular culture with playful and ironic tone. Now let's go to the most distinguished artist.
I am the second discussant, Julito, and I will be discussing the most distinguished artist. So the first image is a portrait of Andy Warhol. So Andy Warhol is a famous American artist. He's wearing a suit and tie with his arms crossed. He has a serious expression on his face. The background of the image is a colorful painting, likely one of his own works. The textbook below the image provides biographical information about Warhol, highlighting his career as a visual artist, film director, and producer. It also mentions his iconic Campbell soup cans, which are considered one of his most famous works. The image is likely from an art history textbook or biography about Warhol. The second image shows the portrait of Roy Lichtenstein. Was a leading American pop artist who gained fame in the 1960s. He is best known for his painting that mimic the style of comic books and advertisements, using bold colors, thick black outlines, and bendy dots. His work, often considered disruptive, challenged traditional art by incorporating elements of popular culture. Lichtenstein's iconic paintings like Wham! And Drowning Girl are instantly recognizable and help define the pop art movement. The third photo was a portrait of Eduardo Paoluzzi, was a Scottish artist known of his sculptures and graphic works. He is widely considered one of the pioneers of pop arts, known for incorporating imagery from popular culture, particularly American advertising and science fiction, into his art. His early collages, like I Was a Rich Man's Playing, are considered groundbreaking works that helped define the pop art movement. We're done about the most distinguished artists, so we will move on to the next, which is the most distinguished artists. The first artwork is from Andy Warhol's, which is the Campbell soup cans. So it is a pop art masterpiece featuring a grid of 10 identical soup cans. So each soup cans showcasing a different flavor. The repetition and bold colors highlight the mass production and consumerism of everyday object, making a statement about advertising's influence on modern society. So the second artwork is from Roy Lichtenstein, which is the Drowning Girl. It is a pop art painting that uses bold lines, bright colors, and bendy dots to create a comic book-like aesthetic. And then the image depicts a distressed young woman partially immersed in water with a speech bubble above her head. This detached and almost humorous presentation reflects Lichtenstein's fascination with mass media and popular culture. The third artwork, which is the pop art painting by Eduardo Paoluzzi, titled I Was a Rich Man's Plaything. It is a collage of various images. It is a collage various images, including a pin-up girl, a plane, and a Coca-Cola advertisement. The artwork is a commentary on the consumerism and mass media of the time, and it reflects Paoluzzi's interest in the relationship between art and popular culture. So we're done about the most distinguished artworks. So we will move on to pop art painting, sculpture, and architecture. So the first image is a pop art painting by Roy Lichtenstein titled Girl with a Ball. It depicts a woman in a swimsuit holding a beach ball painted in a bold and graphic style. The second image shows a modern building called Archifor, designed by Iroji Kim. The building's unique design, resembling a flower, incorporates curved metal surfaces and combines a coffee shop, restaurant, and a single-family home. So the third image is a sculpture of an apple core, created by Cleese Oldenburg in 1929. The artwork represents the fragility and decay of life, highlighting Oldenburg's preoccupation with the process of decline and health. For conclusion, pop art started in the 1950s. Artists used everyday objects and images to make art. They used bright colors and familiar images to show that art could be anything. Pop art made art fun and accessible, showing that even ordinary things can be meaningful. Move on to the summary. Number 1 is, what is pop art? So, pop art, short for popular art. It showcased common household objects and consumer products. Pop artworks done by artists were often made using chemical or commercial techniques. Number 2. What are the characteristics of pop art? And the number 3 is, who are the most distinguished artists in the pop art? So first is Andy Warhol, Roy Lichtenstein, Eduardo Paoluzzi. Number 4. What are the most distinguished artworks in the pop art? The answer is Campbell Soup Cans by Andy Warhol, Drawing Girl by Roy Lichtenstein, and I Was a Rich Man's Plaything, Eduardo Paoluzzi. 5 is pop art examples in painting, architecture, and sculpture. So the answer is Girl with the Ball. It is a painting, and then the Archi 4, which is architecture, and the Apple Core is a sculpture.